Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday, but it's a little bit different because I've turned the lights off and we did have some things on screen that were actually getting in the way. We'd had a tombstone that I thought was in the way of the video, so here it is again, and it's a kind of delayed Halloween live stream type thing that we've got going on tonight, and I've just got the light coming from one side, and that's coming from the monitor that I normally look at for the donations over here. And yeah, you don't have to donate, as I always say, but that's the screen that's lighting up everything, and I thought it might be a little bit spookier than normal. That's my attempt at it. So anyway, hello to you guys in the live chat room, and let me give you guys a shout out. But before I do, just so you know, I've turned down the brightness on my screen in front of me to make it even more spooky. So it means I can't really see anything. But I'm going to attempt to get through some of the usernames in the live chat room. We've got, it's moving quickly as well, Tammy, Debbie, Laurie, Joe, Gail, Sue, Allison, and Estella, is that? Howard's in there as well. Angela, Walter, Kevin, Rose, Bang Bang, Drummer, Billy. Hello, and thank you for joining me tonight. Now, I mean, we're just going to be doing a normal live stream. There's nothing particularly different about it other than having stuff on screen, having red lights going in the background. I don't know whether they look orange or not, but they are, you have to take my word for it, they're supposed to be red. Now, let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place, and you know who you are. Regular viewers will know that their names go across the bottom of the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday and make everything possible. I always say they're the foundation of everything that I do. So, yeah, thank you guys for all of your support over on Patreon. Right. Now, let me see if this is going to work or not, because we normally have a likes goal, which thankfully is in front of the cobweb on the right hand side, so we can actually see what it is. Tonight, we're going to be aiming for 425 likes, and unfortunately, I can see that the time is behind the cobweb, so you'll have to take my word for it that it's 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes past 11 here in the UK. But we're aiming for 425 likes. If we hit that target, then we will be having Phil Jam number 279. That is correct. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, it would be very much appreciated. And I can see now what is going to happen with this. I think I'm going to have to actually set up the lycometer, first of all, because I haven't done that yet. And we'll get it on screen and see where it appears. It's hiding behind the cobweb. I think it says 225. So we're just going to have to deal with that. I'm not sure I've got the confidence to start adjusting layers in this software whilst actually being live, because it might make it freeze and then we'll lose the live stream. So it looks like it's 229. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. Maybe we can get a bit of a spike going on to make it closer to 425, which means we're looking for, 195 more people. That's what I'm going with if it says 230, which I think it does. So we'll keep an eye on that figure behind the web. I don't know if there's any way that I can... Oh, look at this. I can kind of adjust it a little bit so we can see the number at least very clearly behind the cobweb. There you go. I'll have to remember to move that for the next live stream so it isn't looking weird like that. So now let's get into the thing that I mentioned before, which you don't have to do, which is donations. I think it's important that the people that do donate know where the money goes. So between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below, but you don't have to donate. Yeah, just watching is great. So I know that there have been a few donations, so thank you for those. We'll get through the super chat window ones first because Paul's donated $5.10. I can't even see. I'm going to say it's $5.10. Oh, I know why it's $5.10. I thought it was a bit of a weird number, but not when you relate it to the message, because Paul says 510,000 subscribers. Awesome! So thank you for that, Paul. And let's make it official. 510,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, leaving comments, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, recently some of the comments have been interesting, and I will be jumping into one of them especially in Troll Corner in tonight's live stream, and it's one of the comments and kinds of comments that I do even though it's a troll comment, I do enjoy them when people make a comment claiming to have some kind of background or being a professional themselves, and then they make statements in their comment that just contradict what they're saying about what they know. And I mean, this one, it even got quite fancy with some of the terms that the person was using, but it is fundamentally flawed what they're trying to say. And sometimes it's the case that people that think they know a lot actually don't know a lot at all and don't really understand what I'm saying and how basic it is what I'm presenting, that it is so basic that people that are professionals and claim to know what they're talking about, they should know better. And I did actually say to the person that if they are a professional, it would probably be good to remove their comment just in case another professional sees it and it won't do their reputation any good. But we'll get through that on tonight's live stream. So yeah, 510,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And we'll keep on pushing forward, see where we end up. Now, something that I haven't mentioned as well is that over on the Dashery store, there's a deal going at the moment, a Halloween type deal, and it's for Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I do believe. So for the 3 days, and we're already 2 days into the deal, and I guess if you watch this live stream, you've now got an advantage, because it means that if you do want to get any merchandise, and there should be a tray underneath this video, but all of the merchandise you can find, I believe, in the description of this video as well. There'll be a link there. Actually, I'll have to get rid of the lights gold to make sure that everything is in the, not the lights gold, the lycometer, to make sure everything is in the description for the link. And yes, the Dashery store is in the description below, so you guys can click on that if you want to get any merchandise, because there's a deal, and I don't know how much of a deal it is, but it means you get money off, and deals don't happen all the time, so it's only for these 3 days. Like I said, you've got to be watching this live stream in order to know about that particular deal. So if you are thinking of getting any merchandise, then now is the time to strike before the deal ends tomorrow on Sunday. So there you go, that is that out of the way for the merch. And Melkastra says, hard to hear you over the cheering. Oh, that was when I had the subscriber thing on screen. And yeah, it's not really that important what I was saying, because I was just referencing something that I'm going to be talking about later in the live stream anyway, other than just saying thanks for people subscribing. And yeah, maybe I'll have to try and turn down the cheering. I can't hear any of that or any of the stuff going on when I am live streaming, so it's very difficult for me to get the levels right, but I can take down that cheering for the next time if we do indeed go to another 1,000 subscribers. We will have to wait and see. So now, getting into tonight's live stream, I've mentioned the merchandise. You can go off and do that maybe after the live stream if you want, but there's also another video that's released, I believe, relatively recently, and 1st of November, which is today, a couple of months ago or a month ago, I can't remember how long ago it was, but I was interviewed by the Matt Monroe estate, and we were just talking about his voice, and we were referencing the analysis video that I made, and the official Matt Monroe channel have uploaded my analysis video on their channel, and of course they had my permission to do that. So you can go over to the official Matt Monroe YouTube channel and see my analysis video over there if you want to, if that is one that has passed you by, because it was probably a few years ago now, but nevertheless an interesting one to take a look at, because we look at Matt's voice in detail, and range and all the things that I usually point out, and the performance wasn't pitch corrected or auto-tuned, so what we were hearing was actually his voice, so it means that we can get fully into the analysis of it. And I think because the video has been uploaded in its entirety and just as it is, so it goes straight into, like my video would do on my channel, I think people are watching that video thinking it's on my channel, so they're requesting other performances and future analysis videos, but they're not looking at the channel that it's been uploaded by, and it's the official Matt Monro channel. So yeah, a little bit of confusion going on there, and that's just the way that it has been uploaded. I mean, maybe having a little intro on there to say that it is from my channel, but it is being hosted on the Matt Monro channel, maybe that would have been a little bit better, but you guys know now, and you can head over there, leave a comment, you can watch that analysis video, and yeah, I'm sure they would appreciate for a few people to go and check that out and just say hi on the Matt Monro channel, so you guys can take a look at that and just be clearing up that is over on their channel, and it's not something that I have released on mine. So don't put requests for analysis videos in their comment section, because I'm not going to see it and it might just annoy them getting lots of different requests. So that is that. The other thing that I want to mention in tonight's live stream is more of a general nature for live streams, and probably something that I haven't mentioned in quite a while, maybe even a year or two, are the guidelines for the live streams. Now, you can find these in the description below, and they are exactly what they sound like, just what I would consider just common sense guidelines as for what people put in the live chat room, and just make sure that you have a look through that. And like I said, it is common sense, but some people might not be aware of the things that they can and can't post, or should and shouldn't post in the live chat room, because the moderators, when they are watching the live streams, they are moderating according to the guidelines. So if people do find that they are timed out for a particular reason, then they'll find in the guidelines that you would have breached one of those guidelines. So it's quite simple as to how it works, and that's always how the moderators have moderated and how it's worked. So yeah, make sure you have a look through the guidelines if you're unsure as to what they are and what you can and can't post. Right, now I think that's all of the stuff I wanted to mention at the beginning of the live stream with the Matt Monro video and the merchandise. If you guys want to get your hands on any of that, is a good time to do that. And right, the last video on the channel, and that's something that I sometimes bring up during the live streams, was the Australian Idol audition. I believe it was. That was last night. I lose track of time. That was last night, and the interesting thing about last night's video, you might have noticed that when I uploaded it to YouTube, I uploaded my first edit, and this is my fault because I labelled them like pretty much the same, the two files. So what happens is when I'm recording a video, I kind of record everything that I say, and then I do a rough edit, and then I do the final edit. And the final edit is where I put in the intro, and then at the end it then makes the video go into a little square, and you've got kind of the subscribe thing on there and the link to other videos if you want to watch them. And that's usually the video that I upload. So I did all of the editing, the first edit, and then I did all of the editing, the second edit, with the intro and the other stuff. And then, because I labelled them so similarly, I then uploaded the first edit, which is a bit annoying. And I didn't realise I'd done that. I just assumed that I'd uploaded the right one. So it meant that we went straight into the video in last night's video. And actually, if you were watching it when it got released, it didn't even go straight into the video. You even caught the bit where I'm looking off to the side, checking that everything's set up with my software and the screen captures. And I think I just went, okay. And I looked at the camera and then I started talking. So you got that little bit of footage. That's not there anymore. I've cut that out because I then realised, that's the rough edit. So it's still got that first bit in it. So anyway, that video was an interesting one because we've looked at talent contests before where they've been using auto-tune, and they've auto-tuned particular contestants' voices for whatever reason. And in this particular case, it was ironic because the artist was an auto-tune using artist, and that was his sound, and that's just what he did. So then he was asked to sing without auto-tune, and it was auto-tuned again. So I think this is the problem that we have. And the reason why I feel like I need to point this out whenever I see it, because you've got programs on national TV and national singing competitions who are quite clearly pushing that something that's auto-tuned isn't auto-tuned, because the whole point of it was the judges asking the person to perform without auto-tune. So you think, well, that's about as clear a contradiction as you can ever get, that you've got a show that is showing you somebody who uses auto-tune and then they're being asked to perform without it. And what they're giving you as the without auto-tune performance is one that's been auto-tuned, but just a little bit less, so that it's, I mean, it wasn't even subtle, but they're trying to make it more subtle so that the viewer doesn't understand. And I did say in my video that the reason for that, I believe now, that the microphone was one that other contestants had used and it wasn't his own. So I think the show have auto-tuned his voice, and the only reason for doing that, and the only incentive for the show to do that, is because maybe his audition then wasn't very accurate and they felt like, oh, because he got through, we're going to have to make his voice sound better, because it doesn't sound as good as maybe some of the other voices that weren't using auto-tune for their main performance. They might have been told no, but they had a better voice than the person who then got told yes. So then they have to edit the person's voice to make it sound more accurate. And it's just crazy as to how deep this rabbit hole goes, when it's as clear a contradiction as you can get, where this national TV talent show is telling the viewer this is without auto-tune, but it is with auto-tune. So yeah, I don't know. Apart from me pointing it out and letting everybody know, I don't know where you go from there. You just can't trust anything. And I mean, that's a good reason to subscribe to my channel, because at least you'll know exactly what's going on. You know, sometimes to the detriment of my comment section, of people accusing me of, hating and lying and going on a witch hunt and all these different things. And it's always the fans of the bands or artists that I'm doing the analysis on, and just pointing out a fact about the performance. It obviously causes an emotional reaction, because they don't know how to deal with the fact that their favourite artist isn't doing, or is using something that maybe they don't agree with on a personal level. And yeah, the only way that they deal with it is just kind of calling me names, but I'm just saying what is going on. It's quite simple. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that, Paul. Right, yeah, let's get the likeometer back on screen if we can. I had to remove that in order to have a look at the Matt Monroe channel that I was looking at, and just for the date that the video was uploaded. So that is now back. We're at 302 likes so far, which means we're looking for 123 more people. So we're getting there. If you can hit that thumbs up, if you haven't done that already, it would be very much appreciated if you could do. And as you can tell, we're a day late with Halloween, but it was close enough to, get some extra stuff on screen. So why not? That's what I say. Right. Oh yeah, just reading there, Laura Lee says, Phil, when you have a moment, could you put the likeometer back, please? Obviously, the comments might be a little bit delayed, but let's get into the second donation. It's come through from Jennifer after Paul's, and this is for $5. Thank you for that. The message is, Phil, please say hi to Beverly Fine Art and Charlie Vance, both with physical issues. And how is your drummer from the video? Thanks. So thank you for that. And yeah, to Bev and Charlie, I hope everything sorts itself out. And the drummer, I don't know. I haven't spoken to the drummer in a very long time. So your guess is as good as mine, but I hope that he's fine and everything is great with him. So thank you for that, Jennifer. Jan's donated 20 Norwegian krone and says, hey you. So thank you for that. And it's the pear person spinning around. It's too dark for me to see exactly what's going on. But thank you, Jennifer, as well, who has donated $5 again. And the message is, Phil, how is the vocal coach completion going. Thanks. Also, the vocal coach video. I've got, I think, 7 vocal coaches, which is, I think, more than enough to make, a decent video of 7 separate performances that they're doing, totally natural performances. And I'm waiting on either 1 or 2 vocal coaches. I'll have to check my list, but I'll have to see. It might be the case that I just start making the video, and if the other vocal coaches want to be featured in a future video, maybe, then that's something that I can do. Start kind of planning another one for the future. So and this is the problem, that I think it'll get to a point, I don't know, maybe over the next week, where I decide, right, I'll just go ahead with the 7 that I've got, because I mean, it'd be great to get a couple more coaches in there, but I have to. Obviously, I can't wait for years and years and years. It is something that I'll just release the video. So it's going well. I've got everything that I need, but I'm just hoping that we'll get a couple more in there. I'll give it another week probably. So thank you for that. And Jan has donated again, 20 Norwegian kroner. Thank you for that. And the message is, I know nothing. So thank you for that, Jan, and for that admission as well. So we are going to be jumping over into now the bright light that's off to my side, which is the other screen, which has the not the YouTube, but the PayPal donations on there. And I want to make sure that I don't miss any out. We had a donation from Amy, who donated $50. So thank you for that, Amy. And the message was, great live stream. Thanks for showing my Agent A440 graphic at 1 hour, 3 minutes and 48 seconds. It's you, of course, but I didn't want to use your name, logo or pic. I was on the live stream, but can't manage being in the chat and listening to you. So thank you for that, Amy. And Paul donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is 510,000 subscribers. Awesome. Let's have fun tonight and spike those likes all y'all. Peace, love and rock. So thank you for that. Cindy donated £25. Thank you for that, Cindy. And the message is, hi Phil. It's hard to believe it was just a year and a half ago that you did your first video on AI music, and now it has become so pervasive. It's scary to think what will happen in the next 1 to 2 years. Somehow, AI still manages to put limbs on the wrong side of the body, though. So thank you for that. And I don't know. I feel like, and I know that there's a lot of other musicians who feel like they've been calling this for years, thinking that it's because there's no legislation for it and it's not policed, that it's going to get out of control, and it already is out of control. And that there are multiple artists that either one person or 2 people are creating and getting in the tens of thousands of subscribers, getting millions of views, and it is like just building up maybe 7 or 8 channels all going for the same kind of thing. And the religious angle seems to be the one that they're all going for, because people then buy into that. And once you start getting millions of views and people think it's real, obviously it's misleading, but it means that you're going to be making a lot of money through ad revenue. So that's the incentive for it, is to make as much money as possible by misleading people, which is a shame. But it's something that at the moment it is totally legal, because the way that the sites work is it waits, or the sites, the streaming sites I'm talking about, they leave the policing to the person uploading, which is the craziest way of doing it I've ever heard of. I said in my video about, you're leaving the decision with the potential criminal. Of course they're not going to admit to it. They're going to say, oh no, it is all genuine. Like somebody who's been charged with a crime goes to court and they say, oh yeah, no, I definitely did it, even if there's no evidence. Somebody who has committed a crime and maybe stolen something, and there's no evidence of it, they don't go to the police station and say, oh, by the way, did you hear about this crime that happened? and they say, oh no, we didn't. It's, oh well, I did that, and I recorded myself doing it, and I'd like to hand myself in. Nobody's doing that, but that's how AI works. They're asking the people to admit it themselves. Of course they're not going to do that. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But anyway, thank you for that, Cindy. Yeah, AI is unfortunately out of control. Sue's donated £20 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is 510,000 subscribers, 2 brilliant YouTube channels, 1 spectacular community. Well done, and keep up the good work. So thank you for that. And yeah, that's Authentic Vocal, of course, and that's at authentic.vocal. That's over on Instagram, and here on YouTube is at official Authentic Vocal. So that's what you can find. And yeah, I will be picking things up with that in the future, especially with AI getting more and more difficult to spot. It's obviously, I know what's going on with it, and at the moment, I'd say in general, when people ask me to look into an AI song or an AI artist, I can tell pretty much straight off the bat whether it's AI or not, because of the low fidelity sound of it. Everything that I've heard that is AI has this weird sound, and I don't know whether it's just me that can hear it or whether other people can hear it as well, but also the weird stuff that happens with the panning, like I mentioned with a song where the guitar was panned with just 2 strings in the right channel. But that's not how mixing works. Like, the guitar will all be in one place, unless you're now recording 2 strings independently, which nobody does. When you record a guitar, you mic up the guitar. You don't just mic it up, record the first 4 strings and then think, okay, I'm now going to interrupt my picking pattern because I'm now going to record these 2 strings for the right channel. It's something that obviously AI doesn't understand, the recording process. So there are other things about that mix that you think, well, that doesn't make sense from a mixing perspective, but instrumentally, but you're putting 2 strings in a different place panning wise. So yeah, and getting kind of no bleed from the other strings. It just doesn't make sense, but it all has that low fidelity sound to it. So yeah, but in the future, I'm sure it'll get better and better, so it's harder to spot, but that's where you then have to do a little bit more research into it and look into the artist and see what they've done, what they haven't done, and it's always going to be easier to spot by cross-referencing live performances, because they will leave a trail. Like, if somebody has genuinely played at a venue, there will be a record of that with the venue. Whereas with AI artists, they've never played anywhere, but the pictures are from these huge performances that have never happened and are not listed anywhere. And if they were that huge, then everybody would know about that particular performance, and you'd have at least one person out of the 40,000 people that have attended that actually went to it, but then nobody has been to it. So anyway, I mean, the great thing about the video that I did on the Ella Scott, I mean, I started out just being asked whether that was AI or not, and I said in the first video that yeah, it was AI, and now it turns out that AI artist is the same as another artist. They're using the same images, and it's the same person or people doing multiple versions of this same artist. And what's good about it is that when I made my video, then they changed on their website saying, oh no, I am a real artist, I do write the songs, and I am going to tour, but I just can't afford to, and all this different stuff. And since then I have received an email about the person who's behind it, and it's not a musician. It isn't a red-haired musician who's changed everything on the site to say, oh no, it is real. That's been changed by another person who isn't even a woman. It's a guy who's in charge of all these, but still trying to put out this fake persona, because obviously they want to make money from it. That's the whole point of it. So me pointing it out, they felt like they had to try and react to that, because they had 40-odd thousand subscribers, were getting potentially millions of views. Not potentially, they were getting millions of views on their AI songs. They had to try and keep that kind of fan base believing that it was a real person, but it absolutely isn't. And the other one, which was I can't remember the name, but it was Grace, Grace, who was basically the copy and paste, but just putting a different person in the AI images. So unfortunately, it's just a scam that's going on. There are loads of channels that are set up. More often than not, the same person's doing it on multiple channels. So it's a bit of a shame, but that's the world we live in now, unfortunately. Tammy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 510,000 subscribers. Buy yourself some candy. So thank you for that. Blaine has donated £5, and Blaine says, thanks for being a great resource. It helped me today. No problem. Thank you for watching. And Jacqueline's donated £1.46. So thank you for that. And the message is, hi, do you like heavy metal like Saxon or Ostrogoth? I'd say I'm more into kind of melodic hard rock. I've never really got into what I'd consider proper heavy metal. So no, it's not that I can't appreciate it. Of course I can, but for my personal taste, I go with that kind of lighter melodic hard rock or hard rock. As soon as we start getting into metal, heavy metal, I mean, you could argue that Winger, with some of their stuff, I mean, I'm a Winger fan, you could argue that some of that is along the lines of more metal, with the different, like the Pull album, for example, and kind of getting heavier sounds in there, and Kip with the way that he really puts a lot of rasp into what he does. So on particular tracks, particular songs. But then again, with the first Winger album, a lot of that you'd say was hard rock. I don't think you'd call it pop rock. I mean, some people might, but I'd say it's more hard rock and melodic hard rock, which is that kind of first album and the early days of Winger. I was definitely into that kind of sound. So for the heavier stuff, I'm not particularly into. I kind of stop at the hard rock. I'd guess is where my taste stops, but also because I'm into blues, guitarist, especially when I was learning to play the guitar, so it all kind of rolls into that lighter side. But anyway, thank you for that, Jacqueline. And Debbie's donated £5, so thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, just couldn't resist. Everything looks spooktacular on screen. Can't wait for Troll Corner later on. You're awesome. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And I can't even see what the time is because I'm looking at this bright screen. And when I look over here, I can just about make out the camera because it's got a red light on it, but I'm looking at now something that's really dark and my eyes have to readjust as to trying to see what is happening. So the Troll Corner, I'm trying to see if I can make out the time. Is that 20 to midnight? It might be. So we've got a bit of time. I think what I'm going to do is, on the channel soon, I'm going to make a video where I'm addressing a few different points that people make under my videos with kind of arguments or points of view that are opposing what I'm saying, but they're not really understanding or listening to what I'm saying in my video. And this is to do with auto-tune, pitch correction, or very well known and much watched performances that might have been edited, but then a lot of people online haven't noticed, or they're not saying that it's edited. And then of course I mention it in my video, and then I get all of the comments from people who won't believe me because of all the other channels that haven't spotted it, and they think that I'm making it up because how has nobody else spotted it? But I'm just presenting the objective facts of it, and it is a fact. So I'll make a video addressing the different comments that I've had and why kind of logically the arguments don't stack up. It's not a logical argument with the things that people are saying about using Auto-Tune Live, for example. So I will explain that all in a future video, which is going to be an interesting one. But I always think that it is possible, or at least I hope, I guess this is the teacher inside me, I always hope that there's a way that I can explain it where people now understand what I'm saying in a particular video. That it's not a witch hunt, or it's not me making stuff up. It's just me presenting a fact in exactly the same way that any fact can be presented. So yeah, especially when I'm providing objective data about it. So anyway, thank you for this donation, Debbie. And there is another one that's just come through. Phil has donated £25, so thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, you should use AI to create new Phil tunes. That way you'll have the original Phil voice. So thank you for that. And that's a Desert Deluge in brackets. And it's something that I've never really thought about doing. I wouldn't know how. I guess there are loads of providers. If you want to make a cartoon from AI, there must be loads of providers that can do that. But it's not something that's on the top of my agenda to do at the moment. So yeah, who knows? I don't know whether people would like me using AI or not. But I mean, this is another thing that I have said, that I think the application for AI, I mean, there are loads of applications for it. And the thing that I've got personally against AI is very much in my profession, in music, in what I do, and the way that I know it has been trained in order to take the music and talent of other musicians without their consent, and then using their talent to then produce something as a third-party company that they then sell on to somebody else. And that selling of what's been produced doesn't include any royalties or revenue for the original talent. So that's the problem that I have with AI. I mean, I think it is very specific. It is just that process in music. So yeah, and again, that's something that when people say, oh, well, yeah, what about the people that use AI just for a hobby because they don't have any musical talent and they want to create a song themselves? I think, well, that, yeah, because of the way it is, that it's not illegal to do that, they can do that, and there's no problem with doing that. But it still doesn't diffuse the argument that I have with it, that the reason they can do that in the first place is because they're using the talent of people who haven't been compensated for their music, everything that they're using their talent for being taken and used to train a model, which is then enabling the hobbyists to make songs. So that's the problem that I have with it, especially when you talk about people that then upload AI songs and don't say it's AI and then are making money from it. So you've got now a third-party company making money from the talent of individuals who don't receive anything for their talent, and now you've got another person who's now making money themselves because they've uploaded it without disclosing that it's AI, and now they're making money from it, that again the original talent aren't making any money from it because their talent's been used illegally. So yeah, the argument, it always comes back to that. No matter what's happening with AI and music, the reason it's been made possible is because of not allowing the talent to have a say, to say, I don't want my music to be shared with AI or trained, help my music help to train AI. So yeah, that fundamental argument for me, and I've spoken with a lot of people about AI, from hobbyists and people that make songs, people that write songs and then just use AI to kind of tweak it a bit, all of these different things. That when some people say, oh, it's just like working with a session musician, and they come up with ideas that you then take on. Working with a session musician, that person's got a name. That is their talent. They are working with you, and guess what? When you then write the song, they own that song with you, and you have to sign a contract with them. So their talent is being paid for. But now with AI, the talent of the individual is given to you, but the person isn't getting paid. So that's the difference. So yeah, everybody deserves the right to get paid for their talent. But unfortunately, yeah, AI hasn't paid anyone for it. They've stolen it, but it wasn't against the law, so you can't really do much about it. But yeah, we'll see how the various court cases run out and whether AI music's now going to be removed from streaming. I say removed from streaming sites, but you'd need somebody to go through I mean, there's got to be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of songs uploaded every day because it's all automated. How are you going to police that? It's already gone too far. Because, when I'm listening to it and I can hear that low fidelity sound, I can't listen to hundreds of thousands of songs a day and remove the ones that haven't been disclosed as being AI, or do a search on YouTube to get the background of the artist, see how long they've been going, and surprise, surprise, they've just created an account 6 months ago and now have over 100 songs that all sound the same. I say that, but their voice is changed on each of them. So I think it is relatively easy to spot when you know what you're looking for, but you can't police it because it's just gone wild. Anyway, we are going to be just jumping into the super chat window, but we're fine with that. I think we might be able to jump into Troll Corner, because this is going to be an interesting one, because it is quite a long comment, so I'll have to just summarize what's being said, but I'll see you guys there in a second. And I don't know whether Mr. Troll is going to appear behind this gravestone. I don't know why the word wouldn't pop into my head, but anyway, he might be behind this. Who knows? We'll see after this little intro. So I'll see you guys after this. Rock! And, he's behind the headstone. And by the way, we got an outro and an intro there. So he said bye-bye, and then he came back again. So, right, I'm going to find where this headstone is. What's happened here? So, am I going to have to go back into Troll Corner for him to appear again? Let's see what happens. So I'll see you guys in a second again. Yay! There he is. So, what happened? He left, and then he was supposed to come back, but he didn't come back, and then he came back again. Well, he hadn't come back, so then now he's back for the first time. So anyway, it's must be Halloween. He went and scared some people and then came back. Anyway, let's get into this. Right, Troll Corner. Now, this is what's... I kind of enjoy this kind of comment for many reasons. So, this person has said, and this is under the video where I got a lot of these types of comments. It was under the Tonight Show performance of Golden that, loads of people looked at on the internet, and nobody's pointing out that it is factually auto-tuned. It is a fact. There's no way around that, as much as people might want to argue it. So this person is arguing it. And, I mean, first of all, their YouTube channel name is random letters with a dash and, like VTUADUIF. Just random. So you think, well, that's weird to begin with. Anyway, looking at it, and I'm going to have to, summarize this. It says, the problem with this video review is, firstly, he's unemployed. So, straight off the bat, you think, if you're basing your... if you're basing your opinion of my analysis on employment status, I am employed. This is what I do. I'm a professional musician. I do analysis videos. I'm a music analyst. You can say that this is literally my job. So it's not that I'm unemployed. I am very much employed by myself. And when another interesting thing people say, you haven't got a job. Well, what I do, because thankfully what I do is watched so much by, over 500,000 subscribers. Because I'm watched so much, it means that it can be something that I'm doing full time. And even better than that, for people that might get a job and doing, let's say, for example, I got a job doing something like working in a music store. What happens then? You're being employed by somebody. There's somebody who owns that, and to them, you're something that can be replaced. They don't really need you. They can get rid of you and get somebody else. So they have the power. If you're working for a company, there's always the chance that you'll be, you are disposable. You can be removed, and there's no real say that you can have in that. So, being made redundant, for example. So, what I do is I'm the main person. So, I'm the employer. I'm the person who isn't. I'm not disposable because then everything would stop. So, for saying, "Oh, you're unemployed," is kind of the opposite of that. That I do everything. I literally do everything that you see on the internet, on Patreon, my website. And people don't check my website. If you want to see people saying things about me and what I do, go to my website, because there are some people there who you might know their names talking about what I do and my history and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so first of all, the problem with my analysis video apparently is because I was unemployed. But again, that should be irrelevant. You should be looking at the data I'm presenting. And it says, and secondly, he's not in the circle of Sony Music or the actual distributors of the song. So he's got no idea about the 5 years production timeline that's gone into the song. So they're addressing the studio song, and the whole point of my videos, I mean, they've kind of missed the point with this first sentence. The whole point of my videos is, yes, I'm not in the circle of Sony Music. So guess what? It means I can say what's actually happening. I'm not going to pretend it's not auto-tuned, because that's what somebody at Sony Music would do, because they don't want to let that information out. But the whole point of me being self-employed and being the most important person of what I'm doing, it means that I can tell it how it is, and Sony aren't going to be able to stop me doing that. So yeah, they've kind of missed the point in multiple ways in that first sentence. But they then go into all of the details about saying that it wasn't auto-tuned, and this person apparently would know because they know about the engineering, the sound and the rehearsal that they did on the day, and what they used. And then he says he uses a free software, which is a piece of SH1T they've written to extract the vocal stems, and painted himself as an expert in the picture. Again, I'm not painting myself as an expert. It's something that has been said about me by people in the professional music world. For some reason, people think that what I do, it is respectable, and they know the data that I'm presenting is factual, and that's what you need to do. And, to cut this short, the person who's commenting here, they need to provide proof that contradicts what I'm saying. You can't just write loads and loads of information about, the mix and artifacts from isolating software. Again, I've said to the person that, first of all, it is auto-tuned because the human vocal cords cannot calibrate themselves to A440. It's forever going to be impossible. It's only something that's achievable through a processor that is designed and programmed to do that. So yeah, that was kind of a major thing that they just overlook. They don't know how vocal cords work. So yeah, that was a bit of a stupid thing. But again, it really says to me that they don't have any knowledge of this. That they don't know, by saying, they're actually saying that using isolating software means you get artifacts. And those artifacts change the pitch of what you're listening to, which is an absolutely false statement. And I said to them, listen to a song, isolate the vocals, and see if the pitch changes of the vocal, because it won't. And I'm analysing pitch. I'm not analysing the artifacts that are now within this audio file. I'm analysing the pitch, and that's why it's so accurate and so reliable, is because when you isolate a vocal, you're going to get the signal of the vocal. And yeah, there might be artifacts within the actual audio file, but it doesn't change the pitch of what you're hearing. So that's why we can, and we've done it multiple times on the channel, we can pair up audio files that come from the isolated vocals from one night to another night to another night. If artifacts means that now you're getting a different pitch, I'd never be able to match anything ever. So again, my history of videos contradicts everything that this person's saying. So anyway, and he says, Now, if you look behind the scenes, the videos, there is dozens of people in the support crew, and you can bet your bottom dollar or $1 million that there were specific instructions given to the mix team on what to do with this song, because there's millions of dollars riding on it. Exactly. That's why they're applying auto-tune, because they don't want the performance to, go wrong and hear the pitches that might have been missed. But it still doesn't change the fact that it is auto-tuned. So this person's actually, they're giving the reasons for it being auto-tuned rather than trying to support their own statements. As I said before, I did say that they should have maybe taken down this comment. I believe that this is still there. And then he goes into a 16-bit YouTube recording. It's too narrow. It introduces artifacts from transients and background passing frequencies, and artifacts that are going to interfere, but they don't. And he says, okay, so just, and this is his message to me, okay, so just deal with it. Don't be putting up fancy graphics. That's a contradiction, because what he said is that I'm using stuff that is, a piece of SH1T, and he also said there that using some unknown software, and I put the software in the description of every video so that people at home can also do the same test, because that's how you come to reliable data and you come to reliable conclusions, is that everyone else can do it as well, so they can cross-reference it as much as they like. So I'm not trying to hide anything or make it up. And he says, don't be putting up fancy graphics that can easily be dispelled as fake, so you get the views and the clicks and the likes. It's just not worth it. Rating 2 out of 10, the end. Referencing Stop the Slop. So he's saying that what I'm putting up on screen apparently can be easily dispelled as fake. So okay, go and take the video, and I've even given the link in the description, as I do with all of my videos. Take that video, isolate the vocal, run it through pitch monitoring software, and see what you get. Are the vocals now calibrated to A440? They will be, because you're using the same information I'm using to look at on screen. So anyway, just to finish this off, this final troll corner, the reason I find this entertaining is because the person has said that they know what they're talking about, and they're saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, so you've got to assume that they are a professional. Now, why, and I get this all the time, the people that say that they know what they're talking about and are professionals, they never give their name, and they never give their position if they are working for a company, because that's the first thing you should do. You say, this video is not correct, and I work for this company, and this is my name. So that they are putting their reputation on what they're saying. The reason people don't say this is because they know that they're not really sure what they're saying. And even though they like to put these troll comments down, and it's just, I think anybody that wants to contradict. I also said to this person that I've done videos on Taylor Swift and the Eagles, and I know that their legal teams have watched my videos and have looked for any way to get my videos removed, but they can't. Why can't they? Because I'm doing a test that they know, and they probably did the test themselves. They know that the rest of the world will get the same results. And that's why the videos remain, because what I'm doing is presenting a fact. And that's really it. All this person would have to do is do the same test, and they'll see, oh, he isn't making it up. It is a fact. We can see it on the screen, on the pitch monitoring software, which I even give links of how to do it, all the stuff that I use, so the person could definitely do it. But the fact that they are nameless means that there's always some kind of hiding going on. And the person should be able to disprove, rather than just saying, oh yeah, what you've done doesn't prove anything. Prove it wrong. Try to isolate the vocals and get those vocals to fall anywhere other than A440. Because in order to do that, you're going to have to edit the data yourself. You are going to have to manipulate the data and not be truthful. And that's not what I do. I just present exactly the audio from the performance I'm looking at, from the official YouTube channel that has uploaded it. So anyway, we are going to be jumping into Cindy says the troll account was only 5 days old. Was that 5 or 6 days old? So there you go. It's somebody that's just making an account to do that comment and don't want to be traced, because if the problem is, if you are a professional and you're making a comment like that, there are professionals that watch my channel, very well-known producers who might know now who you are, and you lose so much reputation for not knowing something as basic as what I'm pointing out on screen. So anyway, we are going to be jumping into tonight's cover video, and it looks like it's going to be Wanted Dead or Alive. I went for from the requests, like the spookiest cover videos I could find. So Wanted Dead or Alive, I thought, well, it's got the word dead in it, and Hotel California, and those were both requested, but we are going to jump into Wanted Dead or Alive. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock!
It's all the same, only the names are changed. Every day it seems like we're wasting away. Another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home, 'cause I'm a cowboy on this steel horse I ride, wanted, dead or alive. Sometimes I sleep, sometimes it's not for days. The people I meet always go their own separate ways. Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink. Times when you're alone, when all you do is think. 'Cause I'm a cowboy on this steel horse I ride, wanted, dead or alive. I want these streets, a loaded 6-string on my back. I play for keeps, 'cause I might not make it back. I've been everywhere, and still I'm standing tall. I've seen a million faces, and I've rocked them all. 'Cause I'm a cowboy on this steel horse I ride, wanted, dead or alive, wanted, dead or alive, wanted, dead or alive.
And there we have it. That was my version of Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. And I think Bon Jovi's got a new tour coming up as well after his various vocal issues, and I believe he had surgery as well. So I have been asked to take a look at some of his performances, so that'll be coming up on the channel in the future at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Now we have hit tonight's goal, and I turned on the lights, by the way, so, because I thought if I'm getting the guitar out and trying to find it in the dark, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, we're back, and I can see what's going on, and I can see everything on screen, which is great. So we are going to be jumping into Picture Corner as well. Let's see if we can get that on screen. And it is on screen, but I haven't got the screen capture going. Okay, right. There we go. Let me click on that. And, it's a little bit wonky, a little bit off to the side. But let me see if I can grab it and put it in between these cobwebs. Here we have it. So, this has been sent in by Connie. So, thank you for sending this one. And the message is, here's the medium-sized tote bag. You can choose to have the design on both sides. Sturdy, get soft. Is that maybe sturdy yet soft? Perfect for keeping things organised in the car. And there we have it. So thank you for that, Connie, and thank you, Laura, for linking me to this particular picture. And by the way, if you're wanting to get any merchandise, today is a very good day to get it because there's a 3-day flash sale is what it's called. So that's happening. It's actually happening yesterday, but Saturday and Sunday as well. So yeah, order today or tomorrow because by Monday the deal won't be on anymore. So if you want to get your hands on this bag or the t-shirt and hoodies, whatever you want to get, mugs, make sure that you take the opportunity because of the sale that's on at the moment. But thank you for sending that in. Let me get rid of this and come back to me here. So over on PayPal there has been another donation and I think another donation or two. Jan's donated 20 Norwegian kroner, so thank you for that, saying Virgin Records, Branson, Virgin Media. So thank you for that. And yeah, I'm not sure what that refers to, but thank you for the donation. Songs of Life's donated $5 and says, nice set tonight, Phil. Your creativity is showing. So thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, I tried to just put some things on screen. I had these files on my computer, so it takes a little bit longer to set up, but because we didn't have a live stream on Halloween, which was last night, just had a normal video, this is as good as I'm doing, or I can do, for this year's Halloween type live stream. Now, Jennifer donated $5 again. Thank you for that. The message is, Phil, one more question. If AI continues, will it do away with studio musicians? Or is that a possibility? Thanks again for the truth. And potentially, the stupid thing is that musicians have provided unknowingly all of the information that AI needs and the AI developers need to feed their AI models with in order for them to now be out of a job. So of course, you'd say to all session musicians out there, would you give us your playing for free, which will result in you now not having a job? Of course, they're going to say no. Why would I ever give you my talents of all the things that I've played, meaning that I've now not got a job? But that's what's happened with AI, because they're just taking it anyway without anyone's permission. So yeah, it's just wrong on all levels when you're talking about session musicians, but also, composers and, legitimate artists, songwriters. Yeah, but it's where we are. David's donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, thank you, Phil. And thank you, David, for watching and the donation. And just quickly, Leslie's donated £25. Thank you for that. And the message is, long time no chat, Phil. Missed you. Did you set out sweets for the little gremlins that came to your door? So thank you for that. And no, I didn't. I think because here in the UK, it has been raining probably the last 2 or 3 days quite heavily. So it means that anything out there would have got absolutely soaked. But yeah, I don't put anything. The problem is that if you leave something outside, the first people that see it are going to take everything. If there's a bowl, they'll just take the whole bowl. So then there's nothing left for anybody else. So no, it's not something that I do. But Brinley has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, I just wanted to say thank you for the way you explain things. As someone whose brain works a bit differently, I appreciate how much you care about making the info accessible for everyone and how much you care about honesty while also being so kind. Thank you for the way you are. So thank you for that, and no problem at all. I think with what I do, you've got to be objective and just present data, because that's all I'm doing really. And like I said, it's very at some point I might be able to get to the bottom of why some things cause such an emotional reaction with people. But anyway, Joanne's donated £4.37. So thank you for that. And the message is, this week on Sunday at 2 a.m, daylight savings time will end in the US, so different states will change their times. Maybe suggest that people check the time of your videos in their area. So thank you for that. And I do, sometimes say about checking Google, type in time in London, England, and then you'll find the time where I am. And talking of time, we are going to be jumping into tonight's Phil Jam because it's 7 minutes and 39 seconds. So we're going to have to get into this really quickly, and we have hit the goal for tonight, of course. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up, getting us to 425. And if you're watching this on catch up, you can hit that thumbs up. Just keep hitting that thumbs up. It really does help the live stream to get out there, but for the channel to grow on the whole. Right, let's click on that and mute the advert. I don't know what the levels are going to be like with this, because the level wasn't at full. It was like at halfway. That shouldn't affect anything. Right, let me have a listen. See, okay, let's turn on the mic. That always helps, like for the amp. Okay, hopefully that's coming through. Looks like I'm getting a signal there. Right. Okay, before we get into it, this is heavy classic rock jam guitar backing track in brackets A minor from Now You Shred Backing Tracks, and that's UYOU in capital letters. But it is 7 minutes 39, so we'll jump into it. It's going to be quite a long one. Oh, zoom out! Ah! There he is. I think the backing track kind of gets louder, because then I couldn't really hear my guitar there. I can hear this bit fine. Some people are saying that it's too quiet, my guitar. doing something there. And there we have it. It kind of suddenly ended. I just stayed where I was with that. Let me just turn off the mic to stop that repeating going on of my voice. And it's gone to an advert before I scroll down. That was Heavy Classic Rock Jam Guitar Backing Track in brackets A minor from Now You Shred Backing Tracks. And the YOU is in capital letters there. So that was the Fill Jam for tonight. Fill Jam number 279. And I think on that track, I know some people were saying, oh, the guitar was too loud. Or no, the guitar's too quiet. Other people were saying it's fine. And from previous live streams, I think when I've turned up the guitar, it's then gone way too loud. But I think the problem with that was that the quiet bit at the beginning was fine. But then when it got heavier, I then couldn't hear my guitar playing. So it's obviously getting louder out of the speakers. So then trying to balance it's very difficult. So anyway, hopefully you could hear my guitar somewhere in there, maybe. So anyway, thank you, Joe, for sending that my way, and you guys hitting the thumbs up to ensure that we had the Phil Jam for tonight. Now I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. And live streaming Tuesday night, same time, same place, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Might need to type into Google time in London, England, as I mentioned before, just in case your time zones did change. And let me just make sure that we are. Yep, Duran's last message over on PayPal was the one about the daylight savings time. So check your clocks for Tuesday, because if you can make it then, it'll be much appreciated, because we'll be looking for another likes goal in order to hit that thumbs up and have a Phil Jam on Tuesday as well. All that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys at tomorrow night's video. Rock!